how many of you are actively working your sphere of influence? Are you actively working your sphere of influence? I see some hand raises. If you're not at a place where you can turn on your webcam, that's okay. If you want to drop it in the chat. And I mean actively work your sphere of influence. I won't call on you or anything. I'll be nice, but I just want to see kind of where we are with our SOI, because we hear about it all the time. Yes, yes. Not actively, yes. Not too consistent with it. No, yes. Awesome. That's about right. That's about right. So taking it one step further, with your sphere of influence, do you have that somewhere? Do you have your list that you consider your sphere of influence in a database somewhere? Is it a spreadsheet? Is it a notebook? Is it a CRM? Where is it? No and yes. So no to the follow-up, but yes, no, yes, spreadsheet. Awesome. Awesome. Last question, and we're going to get right into the application of this. So again, we're looking at our sphere of influence, and we're going to go into an active strategy on how to get a client today, this very hour, during our buyer mastermind. But the follow-up question to that is, how is your sphere of influence hearing from you? So I'll repeat that again. How is your sphere of influence hearing from you? Are they getting emails from you? Are they getting texts from you? Are they getting calls from you? Are they getting coffee from you? Are they getting video on social media from you? Like, how can you verifiably prove to anybody that's asking for the receipts that they're hearing from you? Text and Facebook, text, events, and calls. So again, how is your sphere of influence hearing from you? Calling. Awesome. Facebook, phone and text, video on social media, text, in-person, coffee. Awesome. Text, social media, email. Awesome. Cool. Is anyone brave enough to unmute and share a little bit of the social media strategy before we get into ours? Anybody want to share what they're doing with their SOI that they'd like to share with the crew? There's no right or wrong answers to it.
I'll give it a shot. I mean, I don't know if it's much of a strategy, but of course I've got all my Facebook friends on my personal Facebook page, and I invited them all to my business page and my IG account. And so basically they see me and comment from there. And I do events, although I didn't invite them all. So when they see me do events, they comment on that. So that's the strategy that I use now.
I like it. How often would you say, if we did a random sampling of your SOI, how often would you say they hear from you? Would it be weekly? Would it be monthly? Would it be quarterly? Would it be yearly?
Other than Facebook, maybe semi-annually, twice a year, or when I see them out and about, or their birthday. I call on birthdays on occasion if they're close sphere of influence.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing. I like that. And that for sure is a strategy. Don't discredit yourself. That's a strategy. So here's what we've ended up doing with our masterminds, has broken it down into more of a work as you go, or kind of work together, a very practical approach to masterminding. What we found here, since we started the mastermind several years ago, is it was very preachy and not enough action. So all of our masterminds, we've redone the format in the sense of how do we actually communicate. So now it's more of a work study, if you will, like we're actually doing the work together so we can implement as quickly as possible. So what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to reach out to our sphere of influence. Now, some of you have done an element of this via another program that we have on Wednesdays. It's a 100K accelerator, but we're going to do a little bit of a twist at the end So hang in there with me. Even if you've seen an element of this before, it's not the exact same. It's similar. It's not even the same. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take this opportunity to list out 10 people in our sphere of influence. If you don't have a sphere of influence, that's okay. Go ahead and write it down. If you don't have a database, that's okay. Pull up a spreadsheet if you're in front of a computer, or just write everything down. But we need to identify 10 people in our sphere of influence. And if you have a database, then you're well ahead of the game right now. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to leverage our sphere of influence, because right now, more than ever, with commission compression, with less transactions happening now versus a year ago, and all other market factors, there's an opportunity to kind of maybe not go as fast in our business as we once were, thinking that the market has slowed down. In a way it has, but it doesn't need to slow down for you. Homes are still being sold. Homes are still being bought, right? So what the opportunity that we have right now is tapping into the people that we already know. But really what's more exciting is tapping into the people who they know. And we'll walk through that progression right now. So let me know in the chat if you have your list, if you have your list of 10 people that you would consider part of your SOI. Some of you already have the database already built up, so it's going to be super simple for you. So again, our first action item is identifying 10 people in our SOI, in our sphere of influence. One of the questions that comes up is, well, who do I consider part of my sphere of influence? Anybody that you would walk up to it at a grocery store and feel comfortable and say, hey, what have you been up to? Let's call that SOI. Let's not overcomplicate it. Yes. Awesome. That's enough yeses. Cool. So I'm going to drop something just so you have it for future purposes, but this is not going to be part of our list today, or part of our action plan today, but it's something that whenever we go through the full exercise, we're not going to have time to do that today, but whenever we go through the full exercise, one of the things that we want to do is we want to complete the profile on each one of our sphere of influence. So what does that mean? Having their contact information that's important for you as a real estate agent. So the 6 that I recommend, I'm going to drop in the chat so you see what I'm talking about. Again, it's not part of our exercise today, but I just want to make sure that you have it. A complete profile, how I categorize it and how I share with real estate agents, is having their name, your sphere of influence's name, their phone number, their email, their birth date, their address, and if they're a homeowner or a renter. I consider those 6 pieces of criteria a complete profile. So if we had time to do the entire exercise, which the entire exercise is like, last time I did the training on it was like 2.5 hours. We're not going to be here 2.5 hours. We're going to do in a very abbreviated version. So once you go through the entire exercise in the future, we'll probably do it in the future. But what we're doing here is we need to make sure that our entire sphere of influence is accounted for. And it's not just having their name, and it's not just having their phone number, it's not just having an email, it's having a complete profile, which is these 6 items. So a complete profile, as I categorize it, is having the name, the email, the phone number, the birth date, the address, and if they're a homeowner or a renter. If you have 4 of 6, awesome, great. But 6 of 6 is better. All right. So again, that's not part of our exercise today. That's just something so you have in your back pocket as you go and build out your SOI or complete your database. For those of you that want to improve your database or don't have a database and took this as a call to action to create one.